Anywhere else, Tuesday is just, well, Tuesday. But if you're at KFC, Tuesday is $10 Tuesday, which means you can get 8 hot, juicy drums and thighs for just $10. Let me say that again. 8 pieces of hot, juicy, original recipe chicken, hand-breaded in 11 herbs and spices. All for just $10 every Tuesday, only at KFC. Guess Tuesday isn't just Tuesday anymore. It's finger-licking good. Prices and participation may vary. Tax, tips, and fees extra.
This is a Bramble Jam podcast.
Welcome to Girls Gone Hallmark, a Hallmark review podcast. I'm Megan, and I'm a longtime Hallmark fan.
I'm Wendy. I'm a former Hallmark hater.
Today, they're back, baby. We have our first official listener mailbag episode post the way home. And y'all are the ones who made this happen. So thank you so much for your comments and emails, letting us know your thoughts on what's going on in the Hallmark world. And I want to start it off strong because we received so many comments from a variety of people after we discussed a shirtless Andrew Walker in The Reluctant Royal. And as I was editing that clip, my mind was like, wait a minute, we've seen shirtless people. Do we not recall shirtless Stephen Huszar? I'll play that clip in a moment. But to the many, many, many people who wrote in to remind us that Andrew Walker himself was shirtless in a recent movie, in the opening of Three Wise Men and a Baby, you're right. We knew that. And we knew it so much that it ended up in our first impressions of that episode. I said in the Countdown to Christmas preview episode that this movie was a love letter to Hallmark fans, and Hallmark confirmed that with their opening shot of Andrew Walker shirtless.
I mean, that scene was so funny. From Go was really funny,
Yeah.
right?
I was like,
And
they know
nice
what
to look
they're
at.
doing.
Yeah. I mean, like when he was doing his yoga poses or whatever he was doing, I'm like, the man is like 42 years old and he looks hotter than you know what.
And meanwhile, I am 43, and you know what I did before recording this episode? I went to physical therapy. And when I came home and climbed the stairs so I could walk into my closet to record this episode that we're recording remotely because our children are home from school, my legs were like Jell-O after 40 minutes of physical
We
therapy.
need to get our lives together, dude.
So, oh my God. May I have the number of Andrew Walker's trainer, please?
Oh my God. First of all, I'm so embarrassed. That was for Three Wise Men and a Baby.
Yeah, November 3rd, 2022.
Oh boy. My apologies, Andrew Walker. Well, we watch a lot of movies, so I can't remember
What are you apologizing for? Objectifying him?
that I forgot that he was shirtless.
Oh, sure. I just feel like I need to call us out a little bit.
Sure.
Let me play the clip of when Stephen Huszar himself was shirtless in Jane Mysteries. Too much to lose. Oh no, it's me who should be afraid this time. What was your first impression of Too Much to Lose?
I'm so sorry, but this is the weakest of the bunch. Oh, I like your game show.
Thank you. My first impression was Stephen Huszar listening last week when we said, take your shirt off.
Listen, that is the only highlight in this movie for me.
Wow. This was the, what's the word? This was the cream of the crop for me. I'm going to call us out further because we got another email from Melissa that says, love your podcast and look forward to it each week. In regards to your comment about a shirtless Andrew Walker, Victor Webster was shirtless in the summer villa when he dove into a pool in France. That's the only other time I can recall a shirtless character in a Hallmark movie.
Take note, Melissa. There are others, apparently.
Are you ready for me to point out that we knew that too?
First impression, is this peak Victor Webster? Hot damn.
Yeah.
All I think about is that pool scene. Sorry. Woo. Wowie zowie.
Yeah, he looks great. Y'all,
I'm so embarrassed.
not only did we mention each and every one of those times in an episode, it's in our first impression every single time. So
Oh my God.
I think we know two things to be true. One, we are absolutely guilty of objectifying these Hallmark actors. And two, we have the memory of goldfish.
Totally. Can I go off script here a little bit?
Oh, sure.
I want to ask you about the Instagram story we shared recently of a shirtless Luke McFarlane
Oh, yeah.
looking very
Fine.
nice.
Yeah. Figured it might as well be on brand here. He looks good. You cannot tell me.
I agree.
That's not a pretty man. Have you watched the new show?
I have, and I really enjoy it. It is so good, and it's fun to watch because you can tell that he's not just acting like a craftsman.
Yeah.
Like this is his passion.
Yeah.
So
He's like, look at this cool toy I have that's going to engrave these words into here.
yeah,
I loved it.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. But we did receive a message from a follower on our Instagram who was disappointed, not at us. They were disappointed at Hallmark for that photo, to which I replied, Hallmark didn't share this photo originally. This wasn't from like the Hallmark brand. It
No.
was a magazine cover featuring Luke McFarlane, and Luke shared it, and I reshared that. The message went on, and I'm not going to get into the specifics about it, but it was very,
You can guess.
it was about,
I don't think anybody listening who has listened to us for more than 1.5 minutes is surprised by where we stand. But I think if you can guess what this person's actual issue was, because it wasn't with the fact that Luke McFarlane was shirtless. As we've pointed out, many Hallmark actors have been shirtless. And I kind of don't imagine them sending these messages about Andrew Walker
yeah.
married to a lady with 2 kids.
Yes. So just read between the lines.
Yeah. Man, I wish we had a video podcast sometimes.
Those are my thoughts on it. All right, let's move on. We got an Instagram message from Era. She writes, okay, so I know this is the smallest detail, but did anyone else notice that Noah's text to Alice was in all caps? How rude. And given how their relationship is already up in the air, that just seals the deal that they should be over and done with. Team Max all the way. She's referring to the final episode of The Way Home.
Yeah. He's like, can we talk?
Can we talk?
Yeah. Did you notice that, eh?
No.
I did. And it made me wonder because the only people I know who text in all caps, other than like my daughter when she's actually yelling something.
OMG mom.
Yes. An actual text I received as we were recording, to which I pointed out, not a great way to send a text when you're at school, kid. Everything was fine. But like my mother-in-law's texts like this.
Oh, interesting.
No punctuation, all caps. So I was like, who in the props department was responsible for the creation of this text?
Yeah, and if there's actual intention behind it.
Yeah, and then I'm like, is Noah a time traveler? But he would, in my mind, I was like, is he actually older? No. None of this makes any sense. I noticed it too, and I also found it curious. Wayne says, I'm so glad y'all are continuing these mailbag episodes, largely because when I went through my signed, sealed, delivered deep dive and I was listening to your SSD review episodes, I wish there was a way for me to talk back in real time. So here's my quick view on SSD. The Facebook group really came through with this suggestion. The pilot reeled me in right away, but after going through the episodes and experiencing the ups and downs, the Christmas movie won me completely over and I was committed.
Agree.
I was definitely Team Wendy when it came to thinking the pageant storyline for Rita was overdone, and I think the whole series should have ended with the first wedding. Don't want to spoil it. The latest movie was not for me at all. It just felt off. What are you two hoping for with To the Moon and Back, especially if there's a chance it might be the last of the SSD movies? Well, I would like to say that Hallmark has announced an air date for Signed, Sealed, Delivered to the Moon and Back on Hallmark. There was a weird kerfuffle in like the Hallmark community about this movie. A trailer was leaked. It was not a Hallmark trailer. It was an Australian
Network?
an Australian network. And then Australia announced an air date for this movie. And then I wonder if Hallmark felt like, well, it's going to be out there. We got to put it out there. Or if Hallmark already had it on the books. But it will be airing here in the States on Hallmark Channel.
Which is different.
Yeah, not Mystery. On April 26th.
Yeah. Well, April is such a like mismatch of movies. And they remember we talked about it that on the 19th, the week before, is it's the Aaron Cahill movie. I can't remember what it's called right now, but
It's a Day Spring.
It's a Day Spring, like Easter movie.
Yeah.
And then there was nothing on the calendar after that.
Yeah.
Let me take a deep breath. I don't want the Postables to get mad at me, but me thinks that Hallmark's just sliding this movie in here quietly.
Let's get it out there and move on.
And to move on. And it makes me sad because if this is truly the last movie, it needs a proper goodbye.
Yeah, because in the past, when A Tale of Three Letters came out, they were doing Facebook Lives with the cast. They were really promoting the movie. What am I hoping for with this movie? If it is to be the last, I think what we know for sure that is, even if we're going to get more Signed, Sealed, Delivered, it's not going to be soon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything's currently being worked on. And so I would like a fair amount of resolution. I don't want to feel like our beloved Postables are floating out there with untied ends.
Are there untied ends?
Well, we're going into this with a lot of questions about, there was I believe a foster situation or an adoption situation, and Shane's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some unknown things about babies and what's going to happen there. And I'd like them to all be in a good place.
Yeah, me too. I got to tell you, as much as I love that series, what I love most about it, and this is no secret, I freaking love the relationship between Kristen Booth and Crystal Lowe. And I could like watch a series with just them two.
Yeah.
Like, give me like a mystery, no, not a mystery series, because I think they're so like fun and likable. Like they need something kind of like funny, maybe.
That would be fun.
I would love it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
This next email comes from Tiandra regarding Mystery Island. She writes, just my 2 cents. 1, yes, do watch Knives Out. Even if you don't like it, I think it will give context for this genre of movie. Did you watch it yet?
Not yet, but I will.
Okay. Number 2, murder is the point of this genre. Think Agatha Christie novels or Murder, She Wrote, where so many people die in Cabot Cove. There's a conspiracy theory that Jessica Fletcher is a serial killer. Wow, that would be wild, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Number 3, a bit of convolution with lots of side characters and ancillary secrets and red herrings is also the point to keep you guessing until the end. And finally, then at the end, a meaty denouement, did I say it right?
Yes.
Or wrap-up is used to answer all of the questions raised throughout. Listening from Kansas, Tiandra. Thoughts on Mystery Island?
I just don't think it was one of the better mystery movies, but I have stated time and time again that I'm not the right critic for some of these movies, simply because I don't think I super enjoy the genre. But what I was saying and what she's referencing is I was like, look, I need to figure out if it's the genre that I don't like or this particular execution. I'm watching a new show on Netflix called The Residence, which is like a dark comedy murder mystery, which I'm enjoying the hell out of.
Would I like it?
I think you might. It's certainly worth giving it one episode. It's a murder mystery set in the White House. But I am going to watch Knives Out. I need to figure out, do I like this sort of thing? Or is it just not for me? It may just not be for me.
That's okay.
That being said, I don't think Mystery Island, regardless, was the most well executed of mysteries.
Well, and I don't think we're too off on our opinion, because I think some of our podcasting counterparts
Felt the same way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take a quick break and we'll come right back with more listener messages.
Yeah.
We have an email from Allison regarding royal movies. Also a little bit of Mystery Island talk. She says, I tried hard to watch Mystery Island from the first movie, just couldn't get into it and turned it off by the second commercial. Seemed like a bad 80s movie. Can't believe they made 3. Yeah, we haven't seen the third movie yet.
There's a third Mystery Island that is already made?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I was not aware.
Allison goes on to say, I'm hit or miss with royal movies, but Royalish was so cute. A different spin on royal movies.
Thank you.
My daughter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I still think of like Megan's I gave it 4 stars, I think.
Yeah, my reaction.
Reaction was so funny.
My daughter would have loved The Princess. I loved the 2 leads and the daughter too. 3 royal movies in a row was a bit much though. Hoping for some good spring movies. If you haven't listened to our Royalish review, the last 2 minutes are pure chaos where we're rating the movie. The dogs chime in. It's really funny. We even got a YouTube comment about it. Thanks for the silliness in this episode. I really needed it. So give those a listen.
Our next email is from Francisco, and I can't tell you how happy this makes me because I thought Francisco was just the way home listener.
Yeah, that we've looped him in.
I'm very excited. He writes, First, Wendy, how are you holding up with Royal Month? LOL. Hey, I didn't hate Royal Month. And I know going into it, I was like, I don't want to do it.
Y'all, there was a Reddit comment about it.
There was?
You showed it to me. How people were like, I'm so tired of Girls Gone Hallmark complaining about the royal movies.
That's right. I try to be real anonymous over there on Reddit.
Well, they still don't know who you are.
True.
But we see you.
We saw your comments. And we're not whining about the royal movies, but I was leading into it because I historically don't enjoy a royal themed movie.
Sure. I don't like mystery. It's okay to have things that we like.
Spoiler, we do have a royal movie in the fan favorite lineup for April.
Uh-huh.
I loved it.
Oh my gosh. What have y'all done to Wendy? What has happened?
Okay, he writes, even though I am a fan of Andrew Walker, I was really there for Emily DeRaven. I am a fan of Lost. I just rewatched it last summer, and also a fan of Once Upon a Time. But it was kind of a letdown. I didn't think they had no chemistry, but she seemed almost like a supporting character instead of a co-lead, and I didn't feel I was rooting for them like in the movie Return to Office. That being said, I felt the father-son relationship was something I was more interested in it ending successfully, and I liked its gradual development. To wrap up the email, I thought you'd mention this in your Did You See That part, but there was a scene at the end of the stables where the Duke said to Johnny that some horse was being given a cousin who'd fallen in love with an American girl. Was that an Easter egg for a previous royal film? And which one was that? I thought it was a little interesting. Okay, so I'm guessing Francisco didn't watch all 3 of these movies.
Correct.
Because that was an Easter egg, correct?
For Royalish.
Yes.
Now, we didn't mention this in Royalish, but I was a little disappointed that Royalish did not include there was no follow through. Mm-hmm. The first movie, the Royal We references the next 2, then the Reluctant Royal references Royalish. They reference the characters. Obviously, they're not referencing them as movies. They're all tied together. And then nothing in Royalish. I wanted something, unless we missed it, but I don't think there was any mention of it.
What's something that you would have wanted, though?
Yeah, tied together.
But how? Give me your pitch.
I mean, I don't know. They're at the end. They're talking to she gets her horse and she's like, oh, wait, she gets the horse. Maybe they do mention it when she gets the horse. That's from the Duke of such and such. Maybe they do. I felt like it was less obvious in that moment.
I don't remember.
You remember the final scene where she gets the horse? She was like, but Rose has a horse. And he was like, that's yours.
Yeah.
So maybe they do tie it all together. But yes, that's the reference from the Reluctant Royal Francisco. So we had an email from CL about who Claire could be. And
we're talking about The Way Home?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. I mean, the season is over. Gone and forgotten.
I know. The first email in regards to who the identity of Claire could be on the way home says, maybe Casey is Nick and Claire's daughter from the future. We don't yet know how Claire fits in, but she could be a Landry, maybe Colton's brother's child. So then I responded, interesting thought, but either Nick or Claire would need to be a Landry for that to fit. So who's Claire? The child of Colton's long-lost brother? And then CL responded, the theory is Claire is Colton's brother's child. She likely does not even know her connection to the town at this point. At some point in the future, Nick and Claire move to Port Haven. Claire and her future child, Casey, both with Landry blood, would then have access to the pond. If I was writing the show, this is CL saying this, that is how I would have it all connect.
CL's a showrunner. I'm telling you, they're listening.
So I found that to be an interesting theory and one we hadn't heard before, which is why I thought it was important to include it here, even though we are kind of like, wrapping up the way home.
Yeah, but I think it's fun to still talk about theories because now I think everybody's doing probably like the real big fans are doing like a full season rewatch again, trying to pick up all the little clues along the way. And then the theories are still working overtime in their minds. So I love to hear them continue to email us.
Yes, there are a couple more the way home thoughts coming up.
And the next email is from Eric about Sam, KC to Jacob, Alice parallel. We talked about this in
the final mailbag episode.
Yeah, that's right. Eric writes, hi, ladies. Thought I'd help continue the mailbag with a thought on the problem with the Sam, KC to Elliot, Alice parallel. When Elliot took the phone call from Kat in the first season, it was Alice that was missing. But when Sam took the phone call from Del in the last episode, it was not KC that Del was worried about. It was Jacob. Thoughts?
Yeah, they're just pointing out it's not a perfect parallel, right?
Right.
Which, correct, it's not.
He does right. So the parallel isn't quite parallel, at least not in this instance. Of course, there are other well-discussed hints that Sam and Casey are connected. Who knows? Maybe the parallel will end up being Elliot/Alice to Sam/Jacob. Also, my wife came up with a term for traveling back in time in non-chronological order, as Alice did episodes ago. Backstitching. Apparently, this is something that's done in knitting. ? Might be a good term to use. Love the show, Eric and Noelle in Iowa. Oh, this is my friend Eric in Iowa. Hi. Go Hawks. Backstitching. I do like that because that's what that felt like. I was like, rewind. You remember? Like that's literally like felt like how my brain was going. Do you have any thoughts on the Sam Casey connection and how it might play out?
I don't. There is a connection. I don't know what it is. My gut tells me there's some Sam Jacob connection. I just find it odd that Jacob would be around Sam so much in this season and never say something to anybody, given the amount of time they've spent hashing out all of their relationships and who knows who from when. That seems odd to me that Jacob never would have brought it up.
You know, be like, yo, mom, I know Sam from
that seems
year XX. Yeah.
So that is my one little bump in that scene that I can't make it make sense.
I can tell you what I need in season 4 is way more Casey.
Oh, yeah.
I need a full-blown story arc, 10 episodes long.
Yeah. We need Casey to be strongly involved in season 4. I need to understand more about them, what their connection is to all of these people. What are they doing? Why are they back in time? I need to know all of it.
Yeah, me too. I got to tell you, I just saw on Facebook today in one of the big The Way Home Facebook groups, it was a picture. Remember we talked about in that final episode where it looks like Casey is getting the baby off the banks. And it's only like a shot of their hair. And we're like, oh, that looks like Casey's hair.
Uh-huh.
Well, this person in the Facebook group, not our Facebook group, showed another picture from Kat. I don't even know what season it's from. the jacket is similar. And I was like, oh, I can't have it being Kat picking up this baby off the banks. I want it to be Casey.
Agree. I do too.
Okay.
I don't want Kat involved in that scene. No, we need Kat's done enough. I need
work on your
Casey.
relationship.
I need Casey to be strongly involved in the actions we're exploring in season 4. Another message from Era, who said, thought I'd send some thoughts for a future mailbag episode on Royalish. I actually really loved this movie. Other than Hallmark, my other big interest is Disneyland and theme parks. I actually listen to a lot of theme park podcasts and follow a lot of theme park influencers, so seeing the meshing of my two loves was so heartwarming for me. Was it a super low budget version of Disneyland? Sure, but it was so charming. Plus, the actress who played Princess Rose really brings this movie together. She's really quite an impressive actor already. Plus, her mom is in the Girls Gone Hallmark group. How cool is that? The icing on the cake of this movie was when they danced to Once Upon a Dream and when he came back to surprise her at the end. Such a sweet moment and a wonderful song choice. Definitely all the feels for me.
You know how I feel about Disneyland, so.
Okay. Actually, that's not true. Wendy's also a former Disneyland hater, because do you remember when you had your Disneyland pass and you were like, I actually really like it here? And we went several times and we were all in on the merch.
Yes, you're right. I enjoy moments of Disneyland. I don't get into the fairy princess stuff. Like, that's not for me. And I think that leans into like the royal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
I like Disneyland. I like getting treats at Disneyland.
Sure.
I don't like watching like families who are supposed to be having the best time of their lives like
screaming at each other,
lose their freaking minds.
Yeah, that's not fun either.
And I don't like the long lines. That's why when you have a pass and you can just go for like a couple of hours and not feel like you have to
make the most of your time and get your money's worth on all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Those days of passes are long gone for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I know you love Disneyland. What's your favorite treat from Disneyland?
A caramel apple.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I like a tiger tail. It's like
a marshmallow
with the caramel and then the chocolate on top. It's delicious.
Caramel apples are super messy, because they have chocolate on them too. So I like them at home. Like I like to take it at home and enjoy it.
Home too. Yeah.
I also like the churro toffee.
I hate churros. You know that.
Yeah, but there's no actual churro. It's just a cinnamon sugar white chocolate toffee. It's delicious.
What? Oh, I can get down with that.
Yeah, there's no fried action.
Yeah, that's what I don't like is the fried part of it.
It's like a toffee dipped in white chocolate with cinnamon sugar. It's delish.
I also like a corn dog.
As do I.
Now listen, I'm going to share it here. I was recently in Denver. We went to a Denver Nuggets game, and guess what they sold there?
Corn dog nuggets?
Pickle dog.
That sounds amazing.
So it's a pickle that's hollowed out, and then they put
a hot dog in the middle of it,
and then they deep fry that in the like cornmeal.
I could get down with that.
I ate the whole thing. It was a tad juicy for me, but it was delicious, and everybody around me watched horrified.
Oh, I wouldn't. I would have been all in on that.
My entire family was like, that's disgusting. I was like, you are wrong. It was very good.
During the holidays, at the Jolly Holiday Bakery sells a Thanksmas sandwich, which is like a turkey cranberry stuffing situation
I would
sandwich.
Get down with that, yeah.
It's delicious as well. Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Yeah, I just like to go eat there.
Mm-hmm. Just walk around and look at stuff.
I don't really care about anything else.
I like the rides, but I don't love waiting in line either.
Oh, the only ride I like is that one we played, the Buzz Lightyear one.
Yeah.
That's the best. And if I'm wrong, you can email us at girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. Our last email is from Jean. We watched the first Hearts Around the Table movie this weekend and absolutely loved the concept. 4 intertwined movies centered around a diverse and proud foster family are so timely, unique, and powerful. The scenes with Angie talking to her foster kids made us tear up every time, and we can't wait to see the character of Rory continue to grow. Gotta say though, in the end, we were on Team Billionaire Brady. And then in parentheses says Tom, because it's Brady from The Way Home.
playing Tom.
Yes, rather than Andrew. Tom was carrying down to earth and interesting, while Andrew was just too brooding and exercising all the time. When Andrew was hanging around while Jenna talked to Rory after he ran away, we were yelling, "Let them have a private moment." Why did he have to hang out in that scene? I hope that Sherry gets a better romance next week. Now, Megan.
Yes.
I saw you up in the Girls Gone Home Hallmark Facebook group.
Yes.
Asking about this movie because we are not reviewing.
Yes. Because
yes.
I saw some comments positive about the first Hearts Around the Table movie. Now, we are not reviewing this. As a reminder, we're not reviewing it because of the movie. We decided ahead of time that April was going to be a fan favorite month for planning purposes to work around our own schedules. Then they announced these movies. So I was just going to skip them and pretend that they never happened. But then I saw positive comments. So I said, yo, do I need to watch them? The overall feeling was that they were better than people anticipated that they would be. A lot of people kept saying it was better than The Unwrapping Christmas. It was better than I thought it would be. I wasn't seeing a lot of people saying this is a must-see, can't miss Hallmark movie. But I do think people were pleasantly surprised by these.
Well, I'm super into a story about foster families.
Yes.
And movies with diverse characters.
Yes.
So I may have to put it on my list to watch.
Yes. I think I'll check them out. And that's a wrap on our first official mailbag post The Way Home. Once again, these episodes can only happen with your feedback. So thank you for your emails. You can talk to us about anything as you've seen from this episode. Send them to girlsgonehallmark@gmail.com. If you love this podcast, we love your 5-star ratings and reviews. If you're writing us an email, go ahead and just hop on over to the Apple Podcast app and write a quick review too, letting everybody know how much you love this podcast. We'll be back next time with more Hallmark reviews. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, friends, before we go, just a quick heads up. You're about to hear some ads. These little gems help us keep the show running and the Hallmark love flowing. So do with that info what you will. Grab a snack, hit the skip button, or maybe, just maybe, listen in and discover your new favorite product. Bye.